Hello everyone, and today's video we'll have a look at the heat wave developing over onto Friday and to the weekend and possibly extending onto Monday as we see various weather charts hinting so. Now we'll move on towards the precipitation run. We'll have a look at the precipitation and we'll also have a look at the maximum temperatures as well as the UV level. How high is it going to be? We'll have a look at the weather central charts, the usual three, which is the GFS, GM, and ECMWF chart. Make sure to stay to the end for every single piece of information. But without further ado, let's get straight on into today's video. You can currently see, just skip towards the topic of point of topic here today, which will actually be onto part of Saturday where we see the heat wave develop. Now those temperatures under the cloud will not feel that warm, but it's really around that 3 o'clock time where we see the highest of temperatures, and by that time the cloud amounts really do matter as well. For Midlands, it does look like pretty cloudy and a wet day, especially at that very warmest time, so those temperatures could set off a few degrees lower. While for the south, it will be scattered clouds, so 50-50 chance you get under that. But for the north and also Northern Ireland, I would say pretty, I would say sunshine. But remember this, a few days away, so everything could change completely. But this is my observation currently right now, what's going on this Saturday. But into Sunday as well, around this 3 o'clock time, for the north, cloud and rain. But for the south, it will be definitely drier with hotter temperatures and stronger UV levels if we see that cloud not being there. But still, there is a chance for this to move, as we do still see scattered pieces of cloud moving across Wales and also East Anglia and Central England, but just towards the far southeast where we do get those clear skies. So still a bit of uncertainty whether or not it's going to hit the most part of the south or not. But again, cloud amounts do play a big role in this, and also precipitation. So it's really the matter of fact if it develops sort of like that or not. But with the maximum temperatures onto Friday already, you can see sparking up that heat wave around 27-28 degrees for East Anglia and the southwestern England. Now onto Saturday, you can see a real hot plume of 30 degrees exceeding for parts of East Anglia and the eastern coast for England. Now look at this, we don't really usually see these temperatures in summer really as well. But what we do see sometimes is we do see temperatures going above average, which is of course because of climate change. As we continue this, you can currently see basically 29-30 degrees covering most parts of East Anglia. So this is what we want for the time of year, definitely for those who want a bit of sunshine mixed in with it. Now as we continue this, you can currently see on the Sunday now those temperatures will peak even higher and more widespread up towards the 30s as we move on to Sunday with highs up to 31 or 32 in the exposed spots, and mostly central across England and East Anglia and the south this time, much more widespread than the one on Saturday. But we could see even worse on Monday, but we can't see that yet because that's the furthest this run will go. Now let's move on to the the UV level. You can currently see on to Saturday, there is quite a 6-7 high risk of UV for the south there. That orange shade, that means you're in the high risk for parts of the southern coast, mainly and East Anglia. But onto Saturday, again, that UV level will actually be much higher for basically the whole of England, with UV levels up to 7 or 8 for parts of the south. This is where we start getting up to high or very high levels of UV, and it can definitely make those temperatures feel warmer. And as we head into Monday now, those UV levels have shifted southwestwards into that London area. Still 7-8 UV level, still pretty considered high for already the UK, so you get used to it in the future. years, as we do get more climate change, we do see this pattern more. We could get higher UV levels. So yeah, now move on towards the next round, which is the DFS round. You can currently see high pressure dominating the weather. Low pressure is spinning up this milder from the Atlantic. This is why we're getting that plume of heat wave. It ends on to Monday. High pressure builds, then low pressure, a very last minute one, develops and spins up into Scotland, which could cause again wet weather for Scotland. But continuing this now, you can basically see high pressure will continue to dominate the weather, and then low pressure again will suddenly emerge from Greenland and for Iceland and eventually towards Scotland. We still get a suddenly shifted jet for the time of year, but not as suddenly shifted as we've seen a few days before. But all in all, high pressure is still trying really hard to dominate. We might get in another southerly breeze here. Yes, we do, with highs up to 20 degrees isofront just touching the coast of the UK. And those temperatures, look at that, wow, 37, 38 degrees. And again, if we do see this looking out, this could really be a devastating heat wave. But 384 hours ahead, I can't say, I doubt it's going to happen if we actually do see this. But it might actually happen. But 384 hours ahead for that 9th of July, really hard to predict. So I can't say a solid answer for now. But if we do see really high temperatures moving in, just like what we did saw there, 37, 38 degrees moving in, we could again be under another heat wave. And for France, that will be 42, 43 degrees, which is really hot for them. But as we continue it does fade here, but then maybe on to 8th of July, yeah, peaking at 9th of July on to Wednesday. So if we even for Scotland up into nearly 30 degrees. So again, hopefully not the same scenario as we had, like we did for the 40 degrees in 2018 or 2020, I think 2021. As we continue this, high pressure moves away towards the west, and then low pressure will continue to dominate the weather. And after this, you can currently see low pressure will move in, and the southerly jet stream will help to develop it further. Now let's move on towards the GAM run. Let's see if it's having the same agreement with the GFS having the big heat wave. Now as we continue, low pressure is still dominating the weather, and high pressure mostly dominates with light winds. And as we continue this now, you can currently see it's a northerly flow, not a southerly breeze. But we didn't get to that 300-hour margin yet, so we can't really count this one. But at the time of here, those deviations will be colder again with that northerly breeze, if that's what you want. Really good. But as we continue on to the next run now, you can currently see high pressure is dominating the weather. Low pressure spins up from the Atlantic. High pressure dominates again. Another low pressure from the Azores. Last minute low developing. Let's see if we see that one from Iceland coming down. No, we actually don't. And instead we get high pressure actually dominating. And then 300 hours ahead, we really don't get a southerly breeze at all. Instead, we get southeasterly wind, which could actually still bring milder air, with temperatures up to nearly 30 degrees, but definitely not as warm as the ECM, as the GFS was hinting there. That could have been a really devastating one. But again, still hopefully GFS wasn't right, and it will bring us some cooler weather. I'm sure that no one's going to want up to 40 degrees again, but still, all the runs are still pretty uncertain for now if the bigger heat wave is going to happen, but we are quite certain that the heat wave coming on to Saturday will probably happen. So that's basically the end of this video. Thanks for watching this video, and until the next time, goodbye.